Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to week 2 of our fabulous Shakespeare class. Hopefully you've learned some fun stuff about Shakespeare and his historical context. Knowing about the world in which Shakespeare lived helps us really understand what kind of ideas he's talking about in his plays. It helps us empathize with his characters a little bit more. And it helps us understand that while we are living through a potentially kind of crazy time in history, lots of other people also had to make it through super crazy times in history. And Shakespeare was one of them. And look at all of the incredible art he created and the way he contributed his experience to a very global experience that now extends hundreds of years later, which is really kind of cool. So yay for Shakespeare. This week we get to look at the stage and sonnet. So we're going to look a little bit about how Shakespeare used space on the stage to create these amazing plays. And we're also going to take a look at his sonnets, because Shakespeare not only wrote an incredible amount of plays, he wrote an incredible amount of poetry, which took the form of sonnets. And sonnets is a very specific style of poetry. It follows a lot of very strict rules. And so we're going to learn about those rules this week, and then you get to create your own very fantastic sonnet, which I'm excited to read. So there we go. So today you're going to be reading the introduction to the sonnets in your textbook. I've got the page numbers here. If you're using the e-textbook or you've got a different edition of the textbook, just go to the index at the back of the book and look up sonnets, and you should be good to go there. So read the introduction to the sonnets. This gives you a lot of background. It talks a little bit about Shakespeare's process. It talks a little bit about the form sonnets must follow and some of the history of the sonnet. Shakespeare didn't invent the sonnet, but he perfected it. And so there is a whole style of sonnet just named after Shakespeare. There's the Shakespearean sonnet, as opposed to other different forms of sonnets. Watch Crash Course Shakespeare Sonnets. It's a video linked in the modules tab. So just go into our class, go to the modules, click on that link. You get to hear someone else, not me, tell you about Shakespeare's sonnets. The video I'm linking you to is actually John Green, who is a fantastic author himself. And also he's a very great vlogger. He makes really great video blogs about literature and literature-related things. And so in this one, he's talking about Shakespeare's sonnets. It's very quick. It's like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes long. And he's a very engaging, very funny speaker. If you read The Fault in Our Stars or watched the movie, it's that John Green. Like, he's famous. He wrote a lot of really famous stuff. So check that out. Really fun. Then you're going to start reading some of the sonnets. I'm not going to make you read all the sonnets. So read sonnets 18, 27, 116, 104, and 130. These are his most famous sonnets. So they're the ones we're going to hit on. Feel free to read more if you want, but these are the ones that are like, if someone thinks of a Shakespearean sonnet, it's probably one of these. So read those specific 5 sonnets. Then watch my recorded lecture in the modules folder. This is going to give you a sample analysis of sonnet 18, because I'm going to be asking you to do an analysis later. So this will give you a good example. You're also going to compose your own sonnet, which is exciting. So your assignment for Friday is to write a sonnet, and here are the rules. You need to use the Shakespearean rhyme scheme. Your lines need to be an iambic pentameter to the best of your ability. I'm not going to be taking off points if it's like close but not quite right. Like, just do your best. Develop your stanzas thoughtfully. And then here's some examples for you. And make sure you choose your subject matter carefully. You can have fun with this. Like, it doesn't have to be a super serious sonnet. Shakespeare had a lot of love poems, but they weren't always traditional in their subject matter. So you could write about romantic love, of course. You could write about friendship love. You could write about love you have for your pet, or your deep and abiding love for a Dairy Queen blizzard. You know, whatever love you're feeling. Sonnets are always about love, but like, we can work with the concept of love, right? So have fun with that. Write your sonnet. And then you are going to respond to one of your classmates' sonnets, or mark on their extraordinary skills, of course, because you all are amazing. And then kind of expand, discuss the ideas they talked about, try and draw some connections, that kind of thing. So engage with each other there. And that is what you're going to be working on Sunday. You've got a visualizing sonnets assignment. So you're going to be creating something more artistic from a sonnet. So like a visual representation of that sonnet. So check out that assignment, look through it. Of course, reach out if you have any questions. It normally takes me about 24 hours to respond via email. It shouldn't take me any longer than that. Over the weekends, plan on about 48 hours because I do try and set that time aside for my family. So I'm yours during the work week, but the weekends, I do try and save that for my family. So I will pop in and check email periodically, but it won't be nearly as frequently as during the work week. So look ahead if you think you might have questions about the Visualizing Sonnets assignment. Do check that out by Friday so that you can ask those questions before we get to the weekend. Awesome. All right, the last thing I want to show you real quick is just the modules tab and where things are located. A reminder again, I know we went over this last week, but the Sonnets and Stage, this is week 2. Each of our weeks is going to have a folder, so you'll know exactly where everything is. Here's that crash course link with John Green. He's hilarious. It's amazing. It's really short. It's like 6 minutes, so please watch it. Here's the recorded video lecture on Shakespeare's sonnets. You're going to be watching that about midweek. To give you a lot of really good background. This will also help you complete the Visualizing Sonnets assignment and the Writing Your Own Sonnets assignment, so do make sure to watch it. And then here is a copy of the PowerPoint if you want to be able to go through it at your own speed instead of the recorded lecture speed. And that's what we're working on in week 2. Lots of fun stuff coming our way. As always, reach out if you have any questions. I'm here to help.